Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Sunday. Hopefully, you guys had a great Saturday. Hopefully, we can finish out the weekend strong for you guys. Today's Speed Duel Spotlight is actually based on the skill card Intel from the Cosmos. Now, I didn't exactly play the 3x deck for you guys yet, and there is a way to build that deck entirely around this card. So this card is amazing. And when we get into the actual ban list tier 2 decks, or format 2, or whatever you guys want to call it, it will be called tier 2 on this channel. I'm sorry if that makes people upset. It does every time I mention it. And for some reason, like, you guys just never read the tournament listings where they say that's what the ban list is called. But whatever. Intel from the Cosmos is a great card, and one I could see going to 1 because this card actually offers too much advantage. So the effect is, it starts off at the beginning of the game, just flip this over at the start. Your opponent must reveal all cards they draw during their draw phase. So essentially, they only give 4 cards the whole game that are going to be a secret from you, because number 1, you will not see the opening hand. 2, anytime they tutor something, they kind of have to show you. Like, I understand, like, this was like a whole argument, and people were like, well, if I play Reinforcement of the Army, I don't have to actually show you the card. Except every trading card game since the beginning of time has a cherry-picking rule. And the cherry-picking rule is that you actually do have to show your opponent the card that you picked up so they can verify you're not cheating. Because if not, what is really stopping you from playing Reinforcement of the Army to reinforce your hand with Raigeki? I mean, for real. Or Monster Reborn. Or Dark Hole. Or Harpy's Feather Duster. Like, what's stopping you from doing that? It's called respect in the cherry picking rule. So because of those, Intel from the Cosmos only has 4 cards you're not going to know. And as somebody who used to attend tournaments, I'm not sure if this rule has changed. We used to be allowed to bring like note cards and notebooks. And what it was for, it wasn't just for jotting down hit points. We were allowed to make notes during the middle of the game based on things we'd seen, because as you progress, you might forget that somebody added something to the hand via an effect, or like I activated compulsory evacuation device, or something that puts a card back from field to hand, at which point those notes might be critical as far as your thought process later. But since it's not like a recording device, or you know, somebody standing behind your opponent giving you signals as to what they have, like, it's fine. It used to be fine. But again, with Speed Duel's hands being a little smaller, it's easier to kind of memorize 4, or just know that there are 4 that you don't have to memorize. And then as your opponent makes their plays, obviously they're going to whittle down those cards based on what you have seen. So this makes Intel from the Cosmos, like, just broken. But what makes it more broken is a trap card I'm already trying to get you guys to play, is Mind Crush. So the way Mind Crush works, declare a card name. If that card is in the opponent's hand, they discard all copies of that card. Otherwise, discard 1 random card yourself. So, in the instance of my Joey deck that you guys saw, I use Captain, Reinforcement of the Army. I might use Reinforcement of the Army to get a second copy of Marauding Captain. Now, because you saw me either draw the Marauding Captain, and you don't want to see me do 2 summons on you real quick, or you saw me grab Reinforcement of the Army, depends on when you activate this. Okay, so in the advanced version of Speed Duel, the tier 2 competitions and higher, what you're going to be thinking is, well, if you see Reinforcement of the Army, number 1, that's their 1 of 2. If you wait for them to activate it, not only is Reinforcement of the Army off the table, but you're going to take the other card out of the game as well. Now, if you're playing up against something like Gearfried, I don't know if Mind Crush will work on Gearfried, or if that monster has to be on the field for the Iron Grit to protect it. But let's say it was the Captain that you saw. You might go and wait for the reinforcement to Captain, And when you hit the Mind Crush, you may hit 2 or even 3 copies of Marauding Captain. And based on what you've seen from Intel of the Cosmos, you may not have seen any of them except the 1 copy. So anything else is extra means that there's more power behind this. Seeing as that these two are going to work super well together, and it's all got to do with timing. You could also, during their draw phase, during their standby phase, whatever, activate the Mind Crush for the card that you saw added to the hand through Intel from the Cosmos, and that just makes Mind Crush an even better card. But this isn't the only reason Intel from the Cosmos is good. This is a great reason, but they gave us another new card, the Cosmos Channeling. So, on the one hand, you can always send a monster that you control that's owned by the opponent to the graveyard to special summon a machine from your hand or your grave. This is a great another way to get out either like Reflect Bounders, whatever, or to replay Jinzo, because again, normally Jinzo is going to be at 1. So for this to work, for that, you need to be able to take your opponent's monster cards. Generally speaking, it has to be under your control. So things like Soul Exchange are not going to work. So that's why they packaged Creature Swap and some other small monsters. But again, this allows you to play almost like a little weenie format build. And maybe you play, small bugs or something along with the Creature Swaps. Maybe they're all normal, so you can also use Creature Seizures. And you utilize this with Jinzo and or a couple Reflect Bounders. You're using Intel from the Cosmos with the Mind Crushes, and maybe you're using the Amulets of Ambition or something. You're going off, you're doing some really cool things. The real thing here is when your opponent draws for the normal draw phase, while you control Jinzo, then you can declare a card type, monster, spell, or trap. But the thing is, you've already seen the card. You know the card by name. Now your opponent has to reveal the card that they drew. If it is of the declared type, they have to send that single card to the graveyard, and then if you do, you get to draw. You send this to the graveyard to draw 1. So this allows you to essentially steal your opponent's draw and make it your own draw, while still canceling out all traps, because again, Jinzo is very dependent on this effect, or the effect is very dependent on Jinzo, as well as the Mind Crush being able to target things that you're seeing every round. These are not the only ways to do this. We also have the Exchange Spell card. That did get released in this set. But for right now, like this right here is enough of a menace that even though Jinzo is at 1, Jinzo is very easy to play. And therefore, I could see like Intel of the Cosmos maybe also going to 1 so that we don't see this type of negative interaction actually over-centralizing the tabletop. So count it as a prediction, unless, of course, the ban list came out. I taped this before today, so this is just a pre-tape. So it's very possible that a new ban list is out that I am unaware of at the time of filming. And so if I called it right, sorry, I didn't actually like watch something or look it up and then go, cool, let me pretend to be a psychic like this guy. But honestly, I could see something like this trying and doing pretty well at over-centralizing stuff. So for today, this is it. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this look at this skill card a little more in-depth, talking more in-depth about how you would use these, how that's going to affect the game. Do the normal things or don't. Just go out, finish out your weekend strong. We will start the 3 times guys back up on Tuesday. For the guys and gals out there enjoying my alternate decks, I have another ally build for you guys for tomorrow. So if that is something you want to see, stick around, check it out. But everybody else, have a great day, have a great weekend. See you next time.